What's up, guys? It's your boy ZOM-B. Thank you for joining me again for another video. Today we're going to be talking about and discussing the second quarter of my schooling, the last 4 months of school that I have gone through. Let's get to it.
Don't be acting crazy when you run around me. Ay. Don't be getting lazy when you run around me. Ay. We can get me hazy, puffin' blowing on the G's. Ay. Hate me, I'ma still be doing me. Ay. Cliffhanger, jaw dropper like homie switching. Homie hopper like wishy-washy, gotta stop a gummy, yeah. Think I got a stereo. No, I don't like fakes, don't you step up in my area.
Alright, before I start this video, I just want to make sure everybody likes, shares, subscribes, comments down below. Show me some love, please. Just let me know anything that I can improve on, what you guys like. Everybody that's subscribed to me so far, I appreciate it. You guys are literally the reason why I'm doing this, honestly. I mean, I just appreciate everybody that's been watching my videos so far. As you guys can see, the studio has gotten a little bit more updated since the last time you guys have seen it. This right here is kind of the podcast area that we're setting up. I'll make sure I have links to those videos as well. Glad to get that going. I got music 2 out. I have beats dropping soon, so a lot of things are happening. Also, these videos that are just updates about my school are going on too, so a lot of videos, content coming out, so make sure you guys like, subscribe, keep this channel growing, and I appreciate everybody. Alright, so in the last video about my schooling, for everybody that watched it, I talked about my first 4 months of school. So the first 4 months were digital literacy, behavioral science, music production technology, and digital audio workstations. And then now this 4 months that I just completed, some musical listening and identification. That was actually a pretty okay class. It wasn't too bad. It was pretty basic, to be honest. It was more really just understanding music history. Each week we discussed a different genre. So we discussed all the way from the oldies like jazz and the blues to rap, trap, hip hop, and everything in between, such as disco and rock and roll and the psychedelic era and metal and everything like that. So it was more just kind of like understanding our history. And actually it was pretty interesting. I got to learn a lot about the legends that I do love in music and did love in music a lot. Didn't really like challenge me much computer-wise with all my equipment. Morely just like an information class. So I did get a few tricks and up my sleeve that I can learn on Logic Pro and everything like that. But most of the information that I got and was really starting to get the challenge was the next course, which was music theory. All right, and so like music theory was, like I said, where it really got to be difficult. For me personally, because I came into this thing not really having much experience in music in general. It was nice to go through all those first few classes. It was probably going to be not hard, but difficult for people to kind of just go through the first 6 months of the course of your whole entire thing without really a challenge. I'm not trying to say that there's not much of a challenge throughout the whole thing. Everybody's different. I'm just saying, for me personally, I was not really much challenged musically wise until music theory, because that's where they really taught you about music and what you're doing is right instead of just slapping a bunch of samples together. Once I got to music theory the next month, and that was month 6 of my whole entire journey, that's where you obviously get to learn. Everybody that's like a music fan or knows more about like music kind of knows what music theory is and is probably gonna entail. But it has all the, you learn about all the notes and all the scales on the piano, learn about the scales on the guitar, just scales in general. So you learn about all the intervals too. So you learn anything from a perfect octave all the way down to minor tones and your major tones, your perfect fourths, all that stuff. I would have to say it was a pretty good challenge for me, obviously, like I was saying, not with much music experience. So I can't say for the people that have been doing music for a long time. I've never taken a day of band in my life. I was in choir for a little bit, but I didn't really pay much attention. I wish I did. For the people that have been in music for a while, I would have to say, you're probably, it's probably more like a refresher, unless you do music every single day, obviously then it's going to be easy. But for me, yeah, I was able to learn a lot. That's where I would have to say most of my money is coming in, or is most of my money's worth is coming from is music theory. That's where I, can learn all my chord progressions and all that. The projects in there were really good. They really started to, obviously they weren't really worried about like a beat or like, a song specifically. They were more worried about just seeing if you understand music in general and like make sure everything sounds good. And they had you take music from sheet music and put it onto the DAW so that you can actually learn how to do your own sheet music on there. So people that, so you got to learn how to read music pretty much. The next class that I'll be talking about, my 7-month course, music composition programming. Imagine where a course that cares about your music and music theory and the songs you make, and music theory where they kind of just cared about if you understood how to read music combined. So pretty much it's everything, just all the assignments are that you understand music theory. So if you didn't do good in music theory, you probably won't do good in music composition programming. But they teach you how to use your drum machines on there, like drum machine pattern things on there. There's a few different ways. I'm blanking exactly right now on exactly what it's called, but there's the way to key in your notes, and then there's the way to actually do it like the drum pattern designer, I think is what it's called. And that's where you can just, make your own drum machine and make your own drum pattern and everything. So they teach you how to do all of that. They teach you how to make your own chord progressions. They really did focus on the drum machines, like I'm saying. Like that was where I learned my drum kit designer. That's where I learned everything like that. I got to make my own drum sounds. One of the assignments was I had to record my own sounds that I had to like jingle my keys, clap my hands, stomp my foot, stuff like that, and make my own sounds, and then make a quick little beat out of that. So that was cool. But other than that, there's not really much to that class besides just showing what you learned from music theory. All right, the fourth class, the final class I'll be talking about is sequencing technologies. And sequencing technologies was where they really got to teach me how to use my MIDI keyboard. And that was finally waiting to like learn how to use that. I mean, I got to use it a little bit in the last class. I didn't really get to understand how like powerful automation and modulation and just everything that I can honestly do on this thing with all the knobs and buttons. Not even just the pads, but all the knobs on this thing. There's like 10 plus different knobs on here, and they can all go to a different setting on there. They teach me how to do that, so I was able to program all of my own synths and all of my synth reverbs and all the other things. So I'm really well equipped right now to where I can make a very, very solid beat. My only thing is I'm just really right now kind of getting picky with what I want to make. And I wouldn't say it's like writer's block or creator's block. It's just right now I'm in the spot where I'm making stuff, and it's just not really what I want to put out. Like I've already put out a whole album. Like I said, I'm only 2/5 of the way through my whole thing, so I still got a bunch of classes to go. But like I was saying about this class, yeah, it really does teach you a lot. This one, sequencing technologies and music theory, chef's kiss. Like they were just a godsend. Like that's where I learned most of my stuff. Music composition programming was nice. I got to show off my creative side of things, but really understanding the tests and like getting to read music and understand synths and like the power of my keyboard was just primo, what I've been looking for. If I'd have to rank them based on how I enjoyed them, sequencing technology, music composition programming, music theory, and then musical listening and identification. And the reason why I rank music theory so low, because I've just been praising about how it's such a good class. Music theory was hard. For someone that doesn't really know much about music and just comes in and is just trying to find their way in the music industry in the world, and like unlike most people that come here that have been doing it for most of their lives, that, like I said, was really hard. It was hard. The tests on that shit were damn, ooh. But they give you a lot of chances. Like I'm saying, like on a test you have 30 goddamn tries to do the test, but it's 50 questions, 60 question tests, so it's like you can do it over again if you want, but by the time I've done it 2 or 3 times, I kind of just put in whatever score is the best score that I like, and I call it rap. I can't imagine anybody doing a test 30 something times. I definitely liked it. Like I said, the sequencing technology class was the best one I've had so far. Out of all the classes I've had, that is definitely my favorite one, because that's been teaching me the nitty gritty stuff. And that is the end of my Logic Pro session of the whole entire thing. I'm going to be learning about Ableton now the next 4 months. The next 4 classes after that, I'm going to be, which is going to be in the next video. I might do 5 because right now I'm in the middle of my mathematics class. It doesn't really have anything to do with anything right now. It's just kind of just a review on math, and the main project is doing a spreadsheet and a blueprint and a budget thing for a studio if I wanted to open one. Live classes. I like my live classes a lot, so the live class amount definitely drops off the further you get into the program. And I've kind of now gotten my way around it a little bit about the live classes. If you are expecting to have a class every single day or every single week, hell, every single month, then this is probably not the online course that you want to go to or the online school that you want to go to. Because if that's how you thrive more is in an online class Zoom experience every time you have to do an assignment or every time that you interact with a teacher or something like that, yeah, this is not going to be the school for you. The live classes are mainly for the liberal arts classes, behavioral science, digital literacy. Obviously, the mathematics class that I'm in now, I'm going to have writing class. I'm going to have a speech class later on, I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong about that, but I have another one down the road that just has nothing really to do with music. It's just your liberal arts classes that you have to take. The live class count definitely goes down, like I was saying. In my history class, the music history class, that had 2 classes in the whole month that I had that whole class. It was one every 2 weeks. And there was probably about 3 people in the whole goddamn class. One class, it was literally just me. And that was fine. Me and him talked about music with me pretty much the entire time. He listened to one of my songs, thought it was pretty dope. That was a cool experience. But the next music theory, not one single live class, which was very disappointing because that was, like I said, the most difficult. You can request a one-on-one Zoom meeting with a teacher. I haven't done that. I'll be honest with you. I just don't know how exactly that would go for me. I haven't came across anything that I just absolutely needed to. Some people probably have. They've talked about how people, they've had to for some people. So obviously some people have to. So that's good. I would have really liked to have a couple of classes where they just went over some of the material instead of. They do have videos that you watch. They do have walkthroughs videos that you have to watch, instructional videos, but Zoom class wise, where you have you're in a classroom with students and your teacher, it's very. No, I have not had one for a while. I didn't have any in music theory. I didn't have any in music composition and programming. Not one in sequencing technologies. They were all instructional videos. And another thing, if you can't just sit there and watch a video and kind of get the gist of what you need to do for the assignment, they also give you the assignment, in writing. So you kind of, if you can't get the gist of the assignment off that stuff, then you definitely need to probably look for a different school. Not trying to sway people away from it, I'm not like an advocate for it. I'm mainly just doing these videos so people can understand and get a gist of what to expect. Just a little warning, just so people can understand it. If I'd have to rate, just what I've learned since I've gotten in this school, and I'm now on month 9, definitely learned a lot. Like I was just saying before, take everything like I say with a grain of salt. Take everything like I said with what your own personal situation. This is also online school, so this is an online portion of school, then they have the actual school that you go to, which is completely different, way more advanced, way more expensive. Obviously, that's why, because you actually have their studios there. They actually have classes every single day, but it's kind of just like their more quick month-by-month class course. You got 20 different classes that teach you. For the music production part, get to learn how to make and produce and copyright and own your own beats and album, everything like that. Once you're able, I've already made an album EP. The album I made was, from what I've learned, the first 4 months. I haven't even made an album from what I've learned these last 4 months in school, which is so much. Kind of like my first video, I answered a lot of questions that people might have. So if there's a lot of questions you guys might have about the school, I'll have a link about that up top here. That's just going over the first 4 months of the school, and then this one's the other 4 months. Like I said, I answered a lot of questions about what to expect through the school, so make sure you guys go check out that one. A few things I can answer right now that I've just come up with. You don't have to pay anything for your financial aid, and I've discussed this in the last video, but you don't have to pay anything until you are done with your school. So say like me with my associates, don't have to pay anything for another year and a half. People that are going for their bachelor's, they don't have to pay for 4.5 years. your payments are going to be fat, just saying, depending on how much your financial aid is, how much you got in grants compared to loans, all that stuff. You'll learn that stuff through your financial aid officer and through all the emails and all the stuff that they make you read. It's kind of a process, but definitely pay while you can, along the way, if you can. Other than that, they'll set you up with a payment plan 6 months after you graduate, kind of expecting you to be looking for a job towards the end of your whole entire college career. One thing I can also say, though, too, build your resume as much as you can along the way. Don't get caught up on too much of one thing. Try to branch out and get that resume built, so then when you do try to find a job, once you're done, you can actually get one. And because that's what they're going to look at, all of your social media, everything that you've made along the way. I've been looking at jobs already, and I still have a year and a half to actually start paying, but most of them just look for experience. Obviously experience in the field, but experience of just mixing and mastering, and they want to look at some of the songs. You have to upload some of the link to the songs that you've created for them so they can hear that. They're going to take a look at your social media, your YouTube, if you make videos, all that stuff. So you want it to look professional and be professional and show that you have that audience and that you have that creativity to you, because that's all that this business is about, is creativity. I think that's pretty much everything that I wanted to discuss with you guys about this 4 months that I've went through. You guys are going to be hearing a lot more of what I've learned in that 4 months coming up soon, with my music coming out. If you guys haven't checked out the podcasts, that's the podcast area kind of over there. You can't see fully of it, but that's kind of the backdrop and everything to it. We have a table over there, a couple chairs. We're going to be having videos up every week, or every other week, just depending on when I can get them done. But yeah, just make sure you guys like, share, subscribe. Please hit that subscribe button, that notification button. I can't grow without your guys' support. And thank you for everyone that has given me your love and support so far. It means the world to me. Leave a comment down below on what you guys think. If you guys have any questions or anything that I missed, anything that you guys want me to answer, just make sure you leave a comment down below. I'm pretty good at answering them. Alright guys, just once again, it's your boy ZOM-B. Thank you for watching the video, and you guys have a good day. Peace out.